Welcome everybody to the Toontown 2.0 prototype video. This is the title screen for the full playable downtown walkthrough city prototype, and I'm gonna just go over it really quickly. You can see the Toontown logo. It has some blinking eyes. It has a cog gear that a Doodle is walking on, and it's very simplistic. I cannot access the game in full screen mode, so I will just cut to going into the game right here. Alright, and welcome to the actual prototype. So as you can see, you begin as just this simple dog character. I'm guessing it's supposed to be modeled after Flippy, but I'm not entirely sure. And you just start in this little tunnel area. You could, you can look back a little bit. Some stuff, it's kind of glitchy still. I mean, it's a prototype, but okay. So you walk around, and there's some jumping that you can do. It's kind of buggy too, but jumping just like that. Okay. And as you're walking, you can see sweet Hypno Owl here doing all kinds of sweet Hypno Owl things. And as you walk out, you can see the Toonie world. You can see Goofy's Gag Shop. You can see the musical building right there with the piano tiles. You can see the pet shop. Right here you can see the ice cream shop that had been in concept art. Get a good view of that. Zoom out a little bit. So you can see that right there. And then to your right here, you can see the clothing store from the original game. And just some other miscellaneous stuff. So, and also here's a fountain. Features some interesting concept art. Looks like a some kind of cog. So if we want to go over here, I will show you some interactive things that they included in the game. It just kind of highlights really what they were trying to do. So here's some symbols right here next to the piano tiles. So if you want to walk up to some of the symbols, you can touch them and they start making noises. So here's another symbol. You can just step up on this thing, makes a monkey noise. Here's another symbol. You can walk up to it and it makes another monkey noise. It's very simplistic, but it does show the example of interactivity that they wanted to include in Toontown 2.0. So over here is the piano tile, so you can just step on it and you can see the first row. I'm moonwalking right now. In the first row, it's nothing but duck sounds. Right here, and jump up onto it. Whoa, it's glitchy. Okay. Actual piano tile sounds. And doesn't appear to be anything on the top row. But there's some more interactivity in the game that they wanted to add and show off right there. Another thing right here is you can see one of the dummy cogs from Toontown Parties. And you can see up on Goofy's Gag Shop, there's a safe attached to it, which you can sometimes trigger to land on the safe dummy. And there's also a sound thing right here that you can just honk, and it will honk at the dummy cog. It's very simple, but it's just another sign of interactivity. Now you can see a little Doodle here. It's just an example of obviously the Doodle's walking around doing its own thing. Sometimes it'll follow you around. I'm not sure how to exactly trigger that, but it can follow you around. Here's a couple more symbols if you want to hear what noises these make. It makes a definite symbol type sound. That one makes a safe noise. So now if you want to go over here to this direction, there's a random Goofy's Gag Shop thing. I know what that is, but it'll be shown a little later what that is. Alright, so if you want to walk this direction, you can see the Toontown Bank. Over there you can see the library, and you can see all kinds of stuff. They designed a bunch of random buildings. They have concept buildings up there on the walls. There was a Doodle one back there. So, and right here is just the Toon Hall. If you want to look up there, it looks like they have some hammers hitting a bell and stuff. And all of these buildings are dancing. That's obviously a feature that they wanted to include. They wanted to include that in the original Toontown, but they never managed to add that in, but there was a dancing building in the phase files somewhere. So you can just kind of stroll around, look at all the different buildings, and sadly none of the buildings are enterable. You can just phase right through them. So if anybody was wondering if you could go into any buildings, no, there's no entering any buildings. So now, maybe one of the more interesting things is, if you want to watch the Toon Hall here, we'll head up this direction. You can see over there is an interesting building that we're going to look at in a second. But, well actually, let's go over there. Let's go this way, and we'll go up the stairs, and we'll head over that direction. So as you can see, they've remodeled some stuff. They've reused some textures. Here's a better look at the ice cream building there. And in this direction, there's a Oodles of Doodles building, which obviously was a concept. They didn't ever manage to actually add that into the prototype, but you can see that right there. And one thing that most people would probably like to see is right in here is the one and only rocket from the storyboard for Escape from Planet Doodles. The concept was you would walk up to this rocket, and there would be an arm that would shoot out of the rocket and put your tune in, and you would go on this giant side mission. If you look up there to the top right, you can see the claw that would grab you. So that was the rocket that would send you on that mission. So now if we want to go up this way, there's another concept building. It looks like some kind of maybe weather station building of some sort. Right here is a very interesting building. We will check that out in a second. But if you go over this way, we've already checked out the Toon Hall, but if you go here, you notice something strange happens. You reach this point, the Toon Hall looks around, and bam! A cogdominium just slams down from the sky. And then the elevator opens, and guess what? Here come some cogs. Some flunkies come out, and a big cheese. So if you want to get a good look at the little flunkies, we'll go take a look at the big cheese over here real quick. And a little fun thing I like to do is kind of just get in their way sometimes, because you can kind of bully them a little bit. So look at that big cheese. I want to get in his way. Stop it. Just kind of bully him a little bit, slow him down. There's no battling or anything. It's very primitive. It just wanted to show off the core concept of interactivity, buildings being a bit more fun, the world being toony, and also the concept of cogs very, very lightly. But it does show you the big giant cogdominium. Zoom out a little bit to see that. You can actually see the old Toon Hall under the world there. That's kind of funny. So now let's head up this direction. Here's another concept building right here. It looks like the Kaboomer. Looks like a very active fireworks building. Maybe it would be very interactive. You could shoot off a lot of fireworks or something like that. So up here now is the power plant building from the concept art. And it features a lot of little whirly windmill things. And so right here is a switch. And if you take a look around, you can see the entire toony world that they modeled here. Now let's just step in front of the switch here, and we triggered it. Now the world just turned into night. So now the buildings over here, they've all fallen asleep. These are still kind of cowering over here in fear because of the cogs, but if we go over to the main section here in town, you can see all of the buildings here. They've now fallen asleep because it's nighttime in the world of Toontown. So now the safe is kind of stuck to the ground. Occasionally some bubbles will start raining down from the top of Goofy's gag shop. You can see those. And just you can see in general the buildings here have all kind of slouched over and fallen asleep because it's bedtime in the world of Toontown. Overall, that's pretty much all in all what was included in this Toontown 2.0 prototype. For the main playable storyline, I'll just go back up here to the power plant and I'll turn the lights back on. So I will restore balance to the toony world. So you just simply walk right into it, and it's up. I triggered it again. There we go. Now the world's back up. The buildings wake back up. Everybody's back to normal. Everybody's back in business. So now you can see everything's good. Everything's sunny. Everything is all as it should be. So now I will go over here, and this is where you would want to go to start your Escape from Planet Doodle minigame. So I will now show you the 2 minigame prototypes for both the Pinata Navigation Belt game and the Doodle Rescue game. Now note that both of them are not too well done or put together, so they're kind of rough, but I still wanted to show them off for you. So let's cut to that. Actually, look at that. Yeah, there we go. Alright, now let's cut to that. Alright, welcome. This is the Pinata Belt navigation game. It kind of started off a little quickly, but you just press spacebar to shoot, and you would just aim. Now, just to note, the prototype just showed off the winning aspect. It wasn't allowing you to really play the full game, so your tune starts dancing now. But it will go back to the actual game. But you can see a lot of it is just simply pointing at pinatas that are coming at you, a bunch of flying objects, and just basically shooting them, trying to make sure that you're completely safe from any objects coming at you. It's a little buggy because things will fly at you like that. Like, I couldn't see where that was. Like right there, I'm trying to aim for it. I'm trying to make sure that all is okay. Some stuff just comes from like off screen and hits you. But basically this is the very, very rough concept of the Pinata Belt navigation game. And you can see the cockpit, you can see stuff like the toaster and stuff like that, the slot machine. You can't necessarily interact with any of it, but I mean, you could try all you want, but there's no interaction with it. It's very simple. You just, press spacebar, you just shoot at random pinatas and stuff. It's not very interactive though, and it's not very completed really. Neither game prototype is necessarily very well done in terms of being completed. But yeah, this is what would happen when you lost. Your tune shakes and your ship explodes. So yeah, that's the Pinata Belt navigation game. And now we will go forward to the Doodle Rescue game, which was also featured in the storyboard. So let's switch over to that now. Welcome. Now this is the Doodle Rescue game. You can control with your mouse to control the camera, and you can move around with the arrow keys, or W, A, S, and D. And I'm not sure exactly what the full concept of this is, but I'm going to assume that it would be to try to chase all of the doodles onto the bouncing pads to get them launched out of the enclosure that the cogs have wrapped around. I just phased out of the wall. I think somewhere around here you can actually see the cog ship. That might be the cog ship right there. I'm not completely sure. I'm trying to get back into the actual game here, and it's not working out too well. I don't know what happened. I don't get it. Did I just push the walls in? Alright, I'm back in now. And this is what happens when you failed, and I honestly thought this was pretty morbid for Toontown. It says, "You failed, Toon. Now all the doodles will be ground up to make cog cosmetics. They make cogs alluringly lifelike." Alright, so let's try again real quick, and just show you off a little bit more of the Doodle Rescue game. I mean, really, I've never even actually beaten it, to be honest. Like, I don't know, how hard or what the complete objective actually is, whether it's, somehow grab them or get them out of, the enclosure just by using the bouncing pads. I'm just not entirely sure. Like this, like how can you win this right now? I just phased out of the wall again. Obviously it's a prototype, obviously it's not completely very well done, but it just shows off the concept of the storyboard side missions with games that you could play and compete and try to do well. There's your ship right there, so you can see it. It doesn't seem to be crushed by the big cog spaceship, but this is just a rough prototype of the game that they wanted to include in Toontown 2.0. So this is the Doodle Rescue game, and this pretty much marks the end of the prototypes. There isn't too much to it, there isn't too much interactivity, but there is some fun with it, and I just hope that you guys enjoyed watching and seeing everything that was inside the Toontown 2.0 prototypes. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this very rare insight into something that not many people have seen or known about on Toontown. Honestly, I think it's a shame that it didn't last and it didn't go through and that it was eventually shut down and closed, but I do like knowing that in the end I was able to share with everybody the insight and to be able to see what Toontown 2.0, the prototype, actually was and was going to be. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. I still have more Toontown mysteries. I'm not sure if they'll ever be as big as Toontown 2.0 or the map video, but I still want to cover some topics that I think are very interesting, so keep an eye out for those. I want to thank you all for watching, I want to thank you all for the support, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Do you like what you see? Want to help me in making videos just like this one? Help support me and my videos by joining my Patreon. It's a funding website designed to allow YouTube creators just like me to gain support to be able to produce videos regularly. So if you enjoy my videos, it would mean the world to me if you could lend a hand to help me make more. I want to thank you all for watching my videos, I want to thank you all for the support, and I'll see you in my next video.